This week on UND Insider Weekly, men's hockey sets up a big first-place battle after they celebrate their second straight sweep. Women's basketball finishes off their home schedule with 2 dominant wins. On the men's side, the Big Sky standings remain close, but UND remains in third after a win and a loss on the road. And women's hockey has their season come to a bumpy end. We welcome back their Olympic players as they enter their first round of the WCHA tournament. Coach Brian Idalski will be in the coach's corner to talk about his team and their plan going into that tournament. Plus, track and field prepare for the big conference tournament, and we'll wrap up our Olympic coverage and find out how the UND athletes fared. All this week on UND Insider Week. Welcome to UND Insider Weekly alongside Tom Miller and Brad Schlossman from the Grand Forks Herald and Paul Ralston from UND Athletics. I'm Tim Hennessy. We'll start, gentlemen, with men's hockey, who have moved into, number 10, I think, Brad, in the pairwise rankings for a WC, or rather for an NCAA berth, but maybe more importantly, they're going to battle it out for the Penrose Trophy in first place in the NCHC, huh?
Yeah, I think the NCHC plan to have the Penrose Cup, it's been making its tour around different arenas, and it just so happens it's going to be in St. Cloud this weekend because whoever comes out on top in this series likely is going to take it away for the first year.
Can you say that with any conviction when you've got 3 points available per game?
Well, if one team sweeps, they, I guess, technically clinch a share of it. And if UND were to sweep, they have the tiebreaker, so they could potentially earn the number 1 seed. But St. Cloud swept UND earlier this year, so assuming they're going to go sweep on the road is probably a bit much. But should be a great series. Tom, you were in Duluth at least for Saturday night's game, and it was almost seemed, I don't want to say easy, but North Dakota was a pretty dominant team.
Yeah, that's one of the best performances I've seen UND all year, and that's including the Miami beatdown that happened on Saturday at the Ralph. So, like you said, it looked easy. They were clicking all the way around. Power play even started to come around. So, team's rolling in the right direction right now, heading into a really big series in St. Cloud.
Remember, like earlier in this stretch, this team had to struggle for every single win, and they would edge it out, and it would be, everyone would be holding their breath the last 30 seconds, hoping there's no goal and everything. They're all of a sudden have some margin here. That's interesting to me.
And Zane Gofford,
yeah, 3 games in a row they got a big lead that win the last couple.
And Zane has been in for all 3 of those games, and he sure doesn't look like he's injured anymore.
I was more critical was the Mark McMillan's line didn't have to produce offensively this weekend, and they still had scored 9 goals.
Yeah, I don't know if McMillan had a point. If he did, it was only 1. So they need to have scoring from their depth, and they're starting to get that too, and that makes them a pretty dangerous team when they got all those lines going. And the Steph Patton to Rocco Grimaldi line seems like that's a good move too, and Rocco's been producing quite a bit lately.
They go to St. Cloud this weekend, first place on the line. The UND women's hockey team was in Columbus, Ohio to take on The Ohio State University and dropped a pair there. Maybe not as surprising as the weekend before when they dropped 2 at home to Minnesota State, but 4 losses in a row. Granted, the Olympic players weren't there for all of them, but you can't like that going into the first round of the playoffs, can you?
No, that's, I'm sure the coaching staff doesn't like to see that. They probably want to get some momentum going before the playoffs, but I'll be really curious to see what happens now when they have a full roster. Obviously, they're a much different team when they have all their players together. We'll see if there's any jet lag or anything along those lines for when they jump back in.
I think Bemidji State, the tournament wraps up in their building, I believe. So they're obviously going to be playing for something and playing with an edge. And so certainly I think it's a big, a significant challenge for the UND women's hockey team heading into the weekend to kind of shake whatever's been kind of bothering them here in the last several games. But, it's a new season and you kind of get to hit the reset button. I'm sure that's what Coach Idalski and his team are thinking. So hopefully they'll be able to do that at home in front of some good fans, and they'll be able to feed off that momentum.
Well, we'd like to see them get through this one because I think, Brad, you'll say the same as I do. When the players come back from the U.S. World Junior, from the World Junior Championships, I should say, generally that first week back, if it's somewhere overseas, they're not quite up to par. And North Dakota's going to need those gals up to par, aren't they?
Yeah, that first weekend sometimes they're not themselves, and then we seem to see after that they kind of take off. Yeah, because they've been playing against such difficult competition. So if they can get by this weekend, that might bode well. We know they're going to have to win the final face-off to make the NCAA tournament at this point, and that's something that this team can do. I think they have the potential to do it. So obviously they have to get by the first week to do that, though.
Senior day at the Betty for the UND women's basketball team on Saturday, and they beat the tar out of Sacramento State. Maybe the most impressive thing, only allowing Sacramento State 57 points, a team that is able to pour it on pretty good.
I think they attempted like 45 threes. Only came out with 57 points. Yeah, so
and UND didn't attempt a single one.
Again, well, they only attempted one in that big 110-104 game, don't they?
Yeah, that's. I think the most telling stat of that whole thing is in the second half against Sacramento State, UND shot, I believe, 83% from the field. I mean, that's both halves.
That's layups, right?
That's great offense and terrible defense. It's a combination of two things, but I think Sac State maybe their style is a little gimmicky, and the second time around through the conference, people are figuring them out a little bit.
The fans actually were a little confused in the early moments of that game because North Dakota would pass up a wide open layup because Sac State would basically allow you to lay it up to burn some clock and use some clock. They'd still get the layup later in the possession, but it was...
UND wanted to dictate the pace.
They wanted to dictate the pace, and so the fans finally caught on that, hey, this is the style that's going to take us to getting a win, and it was a big win because it sets up a great road stretch now for the UND women where everything's in front of them.
3 games on the road. How many do they have to win to host the tournament?
Boy, that's a great question. I think right now they gotta win two of the 3, because I think there's a big game with Southern Utah and Montana on the horizon here that's gonna factor in as well between the two teams. So I think you gotta win 2 of the 3 on the road.
They got a little bit of breathing room here. They finished the season at Southern Utah. We thought that might come down to who hosts that league tournament. So it still could.
That would be the following week, right?
It would be the following week, and certainly a great opportunity. And I'm sure the seniors, as much as they enjoyed senior day at the Betty, would very much like to have an opportunity to play in front of the home fans one more time.
Well, when senior day and senior weekend, they outscored teams by 50. I think that's pretty good emphasis on that one. Troy Huff had 28, and North Dakota came back with the win over Northern Arizona after losing to Sacramento State on Thursday and come back in 3rd place in the Big Sky. Paul, I guess you split on the road, right, and try to win at home.
To be honest with you, if you split on the road in this conference, which North Dakota's done, they're actually ahead of the game compared to most other conference teams. And you mentioned Troy Huff. He struggled at Sacramento State. And Sac State's playing some very good basketball right now. They're beating teams in their place. They really walloped Northern Colorado on Saturday after slipping by us on Thursday. But Troy really came out and had an outstanding game. I think probably what might get overlooked from that performance is the weekend that Jamal Webb had. He's playing his best basketball right now. He played really well on Thursday for North Dakota in a losing effort, but he also made some big shots early in the second half. He's hitting the 3 right now. He's really shooting.
When Jamal Webb hits a 3-point shot, UND can be very dangerous because it's, he seems to be the guy that can really be the difference, especially when teams zone UND, because he often finds himself with the open look, and at times it's certainly not the prettiest shot in the world. I don't know any other way to put that, but when he hits that team is much more dangerous.
How does he shoot it, Paul? Show him.
It's kind of
one of these. Yeah, it's not what we call textbook.
I'm not going to compare him to Ray Allen anytime.
Right, but at the same time, it's a lot to do with confidence. And when Jamal's playing confident, I think everybody starts playing confident, and it allows Troy to be Troy. And right now, I think that's a positive going into the three-game home stretch that's on the way here. And I think, the magic number for North Dakota is 11, because I think 11 gets them clear into the tournament, so that's 2 more wins. And I think if you get 3, now you're talking 2-3 seed, you don't want to be at the 10. I don't think you want to be at 10 wins, because that gets you into tiebreakers. And I think that with North Dakota not owning a win over Weber State, that's where they have a bit of a problem. So they got to try to get to 11 wins, and they have that opportunity here with home games in front of them.
A couple home games to start with, for sure. Coming up, Coach Idalski will talk about this weekend's first round of the WCHA Conference Tournament.
The great thing about snowboarding is the adventure. all day long. You're finding different ways of doing different things, and it's never the same. I don't mind snowboarding alone, but if you've got your friends up there on the mountain and you guys can all cruise down together, it's a really, really fun time. Snowboarding has been really fun and really rewarding for me, and I want it to be fun and rewarding for my customers as well. I'm Lindsay McKinstry, and I'm one of the snowboard experts at Shields.
Right now at Burger King, choose any 2 sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're craving a Whopper sandwich and an original chicken sandwich, an original chicken sandwich and a premium Alaskan fish sandwich, or a Whopper and another Whopper. Come in today and get any 2 for just $5. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
The action is fast. The excitement is high. And the National Collegiate Hockey Conference playoffs are coming. Now's your chance to be part of history by securing your spot at the inaugural NCHC Frozen Face-Off on March 21st and 22nd at Target Center. For more information on purchasing tickets, visit nchchockey.com.
North Dakota is facing challenges in healthcare delivery. The University of North Dakota School of Medicine and Health Sciences is building a place to help meet the state's healthcare needs. In addition to a new structure, we're also building interaction between healthcare professionals while building a workforce through expanding class sizes. We're inspiring our youth to engage in healthcare careers and exploring ways to reduce disease. It starts here and ends here, building a better future for North Dakota.
Right now at Burger King, choose any 2 sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're craving a Whopper sandwich and an original chicken sandwich, an original chicken sandwich and a premium Alaskan fish sandwich, or a Whopper and another Whopper. Come in today and get any 2 for just $5. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
For 50 years, the Big Sky Conference has been showing the world who we are and how we play. 50 years of authenticity, hard work, community, and 50 years of playing to win.
The FCS
But remembering that our mission is bigger than winning. We're the Big Sky, the heart of Division I, the heart of the American West.
UND Insider Weekly is sponsored by Shields, Burger King, where taste is king, Grand Forks Cities Area Transit, and the Ground Round.
The WCHA Conference Tournament starts this weekend as women's hockey hosts Bemidji State, best-of-3 series at the Ralph. Action starts this Friday at 7:07. Get your tickets for the series at the Ralph Engelstad box office and UNDsports.com. Well, Coach Brian Idalski, speaking of the UND women's hockey team, is with us in the Coach's Corner. Coach, tough trip to Columbus. Was it the war you anticipated?
It was physical, and you know, the ice was bad. It's warm. It was like 50 degrees there, so it set up perfect for how they wanted to play, and you know, they executed and did what they needed to do, win a couple hockey games.
We talked about it earlier on the program about how 4 in a row or 5 in a row, whatever it is, going into the playoffs can't be ideal situation regardless of what the personnel situation is, can it?
No, a little concerned mentally of where we're at because quite honestly, we're not playing poorly. I mean, we're dominating puck possession, we're dominating shots, attempted shots.
Is the danger there a little bit when you start pressing like that, you start giving up some things that you normally wouldn't give up?
There's no doubt, you know, we're trying to win and we're exerting, and you know, there's not a lot of poise and patience, and we get over aggressive and we cause some of our own problems. But for the most part, I think we just have to relax, take a deep breath, get the full roster back, remember what got us to this point, and just go back to playing a little smarter and being patient and poised as much as anything else.
How do you manage some of the players coming back now? I mean, they'll be coming off long flights and an intense tournament overseas. How do you manage that?
Well, Carve got a couple games in for us, so you know, she played extremely well, was the best player on the ice considering jet lag and everything else, so she'll take some time. Other 2 players will get back tomorrow, and we'll probably give them a couple days and get the full group together Thursday for a skate, Friday for a skate, and play a game. So
Michelle Carvinen, you mentioned she was away, and you had your your senior day for Caleb Berg, but this is a little unusual to have during tournament games. We'll at least have a little something for Michelle Carvin in recognition, basically, since she was gone during that time, correct?
Yeah, Saturday we're going to recognize Michelle. Her family will be here, so that will be very special for her. So we're excited to be able to do that, regardless of what happens. That's more than likely her last game in the Ralph, so it should be a special opportunity and game for her.
No surprise, she was voted the best forward in the Olympic tournament.
Well, I think when you look at, it's no surprise to us.
Right.
I think if you look at the way the tournament went, that may be a surprise to some others, but led the tournament in points, and she was, an impact in every game and played extremely well. So that's a great award for her. She's the first non-North American to win it, and so it was good stuff.
Now, is it a problem? Do you anticipate? Although you've been through the scenario before where girls have been gone and come back, return to the lineup, that I think the old line was that, everybody's looking for George to do it, and there's no George in this team. Where the gals that have been playing that hard start going, well, they're back, so they'll take over. And
we'll see. It's interesting. Bemidji ends up being a decent matchup for us. We went 3-0-1 against them. Michelle and Tapp never played against Bemidji this year. So these are actually the first games that they're going to compete against Bemidji. So does that change things? You would like to think both of them as impact players may have a little more effect on the game than what happened earlier in the year. But right now, more than anything, we just got to clear our heads and mentally be in a good spot. I think we're a little frustrated.
So you're not concerned that the other girls are going to be watching more than
No,
playing.
Because those kids have really developed. They're a little banged up, but I mean, those kids had to take charge this last month. And hopefully we can get them all playing at a level where, they're playing with Tap and Carve and not just stand and watch and Tap and Carve.
Finish them off in 2 this weekend, Brian. Thanks for being with us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Brian Idalski is UND women's hockey coach. And still to come, the track and field team gets ready for the indoor conference tournament.
Right now at Burger King, choose any 2 sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're craving a Whopper sandwich and an original chicken sandwich, an original chicken sandwich and a premium Alaskan fish sandwich, or a Whopper and another Whopper. Come in today and get any 2 for just $5. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
Life is busy, but many professionals are finding ways to advance their career with a Master's in Business Administration at the University of North Dakota. Students attend UND online and on campus. The program is nationally recognized and emphasizes one-on-one with faculty. Find the title you deserve. Enroll today.
Right now at Burger King, choose any 2 sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're craving a Whopper sandwich and an original chicken sandwich, an original chicken sandwich and a premium Alaskan fish sandwich, or a Whopper and another Whopper. Come in today and get any 2 for just $5. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
Winter fashion is a wonderland, and you'll find all the season's best looks waiting for you at Shields. So let it snow.
Men's basketball continues to fight for playoff positioning as they finish up their final home games of the season. Thursday, Portland State comes to town to face UND at 7 p.m. Saturday, North Dakota faces Eastern Washington at 2 p.m. UND then wraps up the home schedule as they go toe-to-toe against Northern Colorado next Tuesday, starting at 7 o'clock. Also, Coach Jones will be on this week's UND Insider Weekly Extra. He will sit down to discuss those upcoming games, the tight Big Sky standings, and closing out the season. Watch it exclusively online on YouTube and UNDsports.com. Well, the UND track and field teams are headed to the Big Sky Indoor Championships this weekend. Coach Galbraith and student athletes from the men's and women's teams sat down to preview that event.
For us, it's the most exciting, it's the biggest meet of the year. The conference championships are something that the whole team looks forward to, and it's where we can get the most people competing in the highest level compared to any other meet in the year, and every point counts. So you might have somebody running a relay and maybe they didn't make it in an individual event, so everything counts, and it's exciting, and you get to see how you rank up against your peers in other schools. So it really is the biggest meet, indoor and outdoor, two biggest meets of the year, and this is the first one of two. So we look forward to it because we get to see how we're doing compared to the rest of the conference, and that's always exciting.
I'm expecting, to compete like I have been thus far this season. Everyone in the conference, as you can see, been putting up a lot of big numbers and stuff, and so a lot of it just comes down to competing on the day and just making sure that you do what you can to put yourself in scoring position or competing to your seed or to upset some people if that needs to happen. And so I'm just expecting to go out there and run like I have been and jump like I have been and hopefully put up some big numbers.
It's going to be a tough field, but it's always fun to go to conference and see a bunch of different teams that we haven't seen throughout the season.
And it'll be nice to have two UND representatives in the race so we can run together and push each other, and it's just nice to know someone to warm up with and get ready with them.
Nervous and excited. I didn't know if I would make it my first year, so this is really exciting for me, and I just can't wait to compete. It's been a lot of work. It's been really hard, but at the same time it's been really fun, and I'm just hoping that all the hard work does pay off.
Usually you're just going for a personal best, but at this meet it's a little more trying to do better in the conference and score more points for the team. First throw, get in there and try to get a decent one, hopefully not scratch it. And then from there, just build.
There we have two guys hurdlers, Jimmy Evers from Red River, John LeClaire from Grafton. Originally, they're both sophomores. They're running real well right now. They've run PRs, both of them, their best times in the last 2 weeks. Again, if they can sneak in and grab a point and make the final, that'd be amazing. Like for instance, Stephanie Clark's going to run 3 events. She qualified the 2, the 400, and the 4x4, and she's going to run all 3. And that's a fairly hefty triple across 2 weekends. So that's 2 prelims, 2 finals, 2 prelims and 3 finals if you count the relay at the end of the day. So that's a lot for anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. So she's really trying to just do the best she can for herself. And the better she does, the better she does for the team, and that goes for everyone.
Coming up, the Winter Olympics have concluded. We'll take a look back and talk about the impact that current and former student athletes made on their event.
UND Insider Weekly is sponsored by Shields, Burger King, where taste is king, Grand Forks Cities Area Transit, and the Ground Round.
For 50 years, the Big Sky Conference has been showing the world who we are and how we play. 50 years of authenticity, hard work, community, and 50 years of playing to win. But remembering that our mission is bigger than winning. We're the Big Sky, the heart of Division I, the heart of the American West.
Welcome back. The big UND headlines from this past week in the Olympics. We'll start with one that caused the most buzz, and that, of course, was Jonathan Toews scoring the game-winning goal in Canada's 3-0 victory over Sweden for the gold medal. But previous to that, Canada taking the victory against the United States, and then the U.S. just bombing out in the bronze medal game. Really a disappointment, I think. They didn't score a goal the last 2 games, and this is the top guys we got. What the heck's going on, Brad?
Yeah, I thought the whole tournament they played pretty well until that last game. They lost their only loss was a 1-0 to a really good Canada team. I don't know if anyone looked at those 2 rosters and said U.S. is better than Canada, you know. So, but then, like you said, that loss to Finland has to be disappointing that they didn't medal. They came in with some big expectations after coming so close to gold in Vancouver 4 years ago. But
what is Finland? Chopped liver? I mean,
they're not bad.
They've got great goaltending
well.
back there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think a loss to Finland should be all that disappointing.
5-0 loss should be.
Yeah, it's a 5-0 loss. You know, is disappointing. Maybe that the performance wasn't there, but I don't think losing to Finland in itself is that bad because they've got some great players on that squad. So,
of course, the heartbreaker was the U.S. And Canada in the gold medal game for the women's hockey, and Canada takes that one 2-1 after the U.S. led 2-0 with 2-3 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking, one way to put it. There's others that would describe it another way, but still, it was really unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us know how hard the Lamoureux twins took the loss in Vancouver, so I can't imagine how hard.
Why aren't they playing more?
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother issue. I mean, come a minute to go, you would think that's who you would have in there to tie up players. They're physical players. They're strong enough to get pucks out of the zone from along the wall and things of that nature, and the players who were out there were not. So,
did you think it was a vicious slash on Monique late in the game then?
No, that was Jocelyn.
Jocelyn.
Yeah,
overtime?
That was an official trying not to decide the game, and an attorney did. So, that was a bizarre call, to say the least.
And we already mentioned Michelle Carpenter, the UND women's team, was named the top forward in the tournament. That's for all the talent that was there between the United States, especially in Canada, to come back with that award is pretty good.
Yeah, the best players in the world. I guess Michelle Carpenter can make her claim that she is the best forward or best player in the world right now, which is pretty unique.
All right, guys, thanks. It's been fun, as always, with these gentlemen. Make sure you catch the brand new episode of UND Insider Weekly next Wednesday at 8 o'clock on UNDsports.com and Friday at 5:30 on Midco Sports Network.